called the Allied Workers Union, so I was a part of their union as well. The Jim Egypt that you see, I was a part of their union as well. I was a production union person as well. So yes, my union bazi and activism was also
So you brought that.
reflected behind the camera as I cried my way to the bank.
As women in leadership, and literally you at the top of that center and owning that space, it's often that eyes and knives are pointed at us. I'm sure we all know how you deal with it in an extraordinary way. What is your advice to youngsters entering the leadership space? And of course, these eyes and knives, I'm sure it bothers you. And I'm sure you have a huge family.
Nothing bothers me.
It doesn't?
You can't be in the public space.
Yes.
And hope to be protected. You are to be morally, ethically lynched. If you're a female who has made a considerable political impact, and especially if you're one Amethi, you have to be ready to be stripped of all your dignity, because that is the way they hope you defocus from issues.
Right, right.
And once you understand that strategy, everything else falls in place.
Fantastic.
So I believe that if somebody wants to come into the public space, there are two issues you need to consider before you come in. Don't come in because you have no other career option.
Right.
India deserves better.
Yes.
People deserve better.
Absolutely.
Value why you are coming into politics. Second, which part of politics do you want to be a part of? I began with political activism. I began with social activism. I was the WHO USAID ambassador to India. And as I worked in the field of health across the country, I was just 24 then, I realized till such time I don't become a policy maker, not much will change. Hence, I switched to electoral politics. So one, you need to decide how, where would you like to contribute. Two, you need to decide how long would you like to contribute.
Prime Minister Modi has emphasized on the need for women-led development. This is a little long question, multiple questions actually. A little elaboration on that if you can, if you may. And any resistance to this idea from the other half of the population?
No. I'm very grateful, one, that the very phrase women-led development is a tectonic shift,
yes.
Not only in narrative, but also perception. Women in our country were always looked upon as beneficiaries,
yes.
Waiting to be rescued. Someone or the other in politics would talk about how humko aurton ke liye ye karna hai. For the first time in Indian politics, we have now a prime minister who says, देश के लिए अगर कुछ करना है, तो औरतों का सहारा जरूरी है.
बिल्कुल.
And women-led development quantifies the monetary impact women have in our country.
Yes.
For instance, 110 million toilets built. The government, which was Congress-led in the year 2005-06, if you look at the National Family Health Survey 3, they knew in 2005-06 that women are getting raped when they go out to defecate in the open. They knew that only 38% of households in our country have toilets. They knew in 2010 that the World Bank says that 6% of your GDP is taking a hit because of lack of sanitation. Nobody did anything. And building toilets has never been politically glamorous. No woman in our country has ever walked up to a politician to say, please build me a toilet. Exactly. Now, 110 million toilets get built. You ensure enhanced, dignified means of starting a day. 230 million bank accounts get opened. 200 million women get mudra loans. Before 2014, many people said women cannot start businesses because they have no access to collateral-free loans. When mudra came, nobody said it's a loan for women. It was actually not gendered. It was for men and women. And it was not just happenstance that 70% of the beneficiaries turned out to be women. Now look at it from a rural point of view, or look at it from an urban slum point of view. Imagine a woman sitting in some village or in a jhuggi jhopri, drawing up a business plan, going to a bank, convincing the bank that they can service the loan, Take the loan, service it, grow their business, give the money back. NPA for women who take loans from bank is less than 2% compared to men. We are doing far better. We have proven now financially that we are better investments. So I think when you talk about women-led development, that is exactly where the Prime Minister has taken the governance agenda to.
With
that if you
cushions
want
and
to
fallback.
financially be strengthened as a society, then it is imperative that women be equal partners.
So it's obviously there's a lot of cushions and fallback already
Women have
woven
not
into
had,
the system.
I would not term it as cushions.
Necessities.
That makes light of our achievement.
Yes.
Nothing is a cushion. We didn't have access. We have now equal access and we are doing better than men. That is how one should position it.
Yes.
No woman is getting a cushion.
So how does, when you're talking of women-led development, when I meant cushion, I mean, what is the fallback that she would need to be supported with, considering that the multiple roles that she will be continued to expected to play, and the policies and practices and social messaging that will be required to facilitate this transition and
I
empathy
think it's
and
about
support?
creating access to opportunity. For instance, I cannot imagine why young girls were not allowed to study in Sainik schools. Now we have young girls studying in Sainik schools. We have women now in the Permanent Commission. We have women now who are launching our space programs to Mars or Chandrayaan. These are not women who just happen to be now
Yes.
contributing. These are women who are waiting for that opportunity at that high table. So I believe that when you talk about what is the social change, I mean, Tessie and 3 other scientists joined us recently at the G20 summit for women ministers in Gandhinagar. And the G20 partners were aghast. They thought that a prima donna in all scientific gear is going to walk in as the ISRO face. And suddenly, it's very quietly walked in, Tessie, and then Ritu walked in, and everybody else walked in, and they were like, these are the women who went and did this remarkable thing at Mars. We said yes. So I think there is this perception that if it is a female who's launching rockets, then she wouldn't be this 50-something lady in a sari. So I think those perceptions are now slowly changing,
yes.
and I'm very happy. Because I've always said this, that modernity is a state of mind, it is not a dress code.
Yes.
And the fact that Indian women are doing well in science and innovation is something that makes me extremely glad. In fact, you would all be happy to know that the incidences of women now enrolling in PhD programs in our country has gone up by 99.5%.
Wow. Fantastic. So coming back to Smriti Irani ji, what is your core strength? Not core competency, core strength. Your one fallback that has never failed you. Is it
I have no
Ganapati?
fallback.
Is it Ganesha that you and I are
I
wearing?
have no fallback. And that is my strength.
Okay.
That you have no option but to succeed. Because if I was comfortable, I wouldn't be here today. So anybody who thinks you need this cushion, this fallback, you
So
aren't
is that
going
your core
anywhere.
strength, that you have no fallback?
I guess it's different for me because